Are you ready to jump into healing for co-op bosses or adventure mode in Where Winds Meet? Welcome back to the channel that has been looking for another game with as much immersion as Black Desert used to have. My name's Teddy, and because Where Winds Meet has been out for a week globally, I'm going to show you my healing setup I've been using for the Pansia fan and the Soulshade umbrella. If you've been enjoying Where Winds Meet, even though it's not a real MMO yet, it still fits almost all the MMO checkboxes. Leave a like, and let's just jump right into this. Unlike most MMOs, when it comes to classes in Where Winds Meet, we don't have mages or the usual wear plate, mail, and shield to be a tank. Instead, we have character development, which includes our weapons that change how we play our characters, inner ways, and mystic arts, all which define our roles like tank, DPS, or healer. For those who need a basic guide on all the roles and different combinations, inside the Develop tab, hitting the Improvement Guide shows the path guide to build each role to either get an idea or just to use in general. In here has the role profiles to see the pros and cons of each, combinations to show how to gear, and even challenges to complete not only to help build your character, but also provides echo jade for each. We also have the development guide to show where your mastery can be improved, like with mystic skills, how well you're doing with your path, and any way you can improve your mastery or gear score, which is just bragging rights. I suggest taking a look at this tab to get an idea of all the options we have until new paths are available. So, with that in mind, for healing and co-op, the weapon choices are the Pansia fan and Soulshade umbrella. Taking a look at the Pansia fan, the light attack, fourfold inquiry, is a ranged attack. The heavy attack is replaced with Emerald Dew Touch, which heals a selected target for a small amount and generates dew which is needed for healing. The martial arts skill, Cloud Burst Healing, generates 20 dew on use, which summons an AoE healing circle for a few seconds. If you have full dew, the perception skill, Endless Cloud, triggers, which lets out a large burst heal, and if the Soulshade umbrella is equipped and the special skill Echoing Grow is not on cooldown, it's automatically triggered. Next, we have the special skill Light Dust After Morning Rain. This consumes 50 dewdrops to heal yourself and an ally with the lowest health. If an ally is dead and the perception skill is not on cooldown, the special will switch to a resurrection perception skill, which consumes the dew to res. With more dew used, the more HP is recovered. Finally, we have the weapon switch, which also heals you and a nearby ally over time. Switching weapons to the Soulshade umbrella, light attack does 3 different attacks, starting with close, medium, followed by ranged damage. With the umbrella, we get the ranged heavy attack, and when charging, the heavy attack changes it to a pale petal skill, which keeps attacking the target to extend the duration of the exhausted status while increasing the damage and duration of the effect the longer the attack is charged. The Mystic Art Floating Grace buffs everyone nearby for 15% increased damage for 8 seconds and heals once. For the special, the Echoes of 1,000 Plants tosses the umbrella into the air to switch to a small sword. This increases the healing by 15% and generates dew over time. The umbrella will then follow you around, healing any ally with the lowest health, and will have increased healing to yourself by 50%. Using this special again will bring the umbrella down early. Finally, when doing the weapon switch, it will not only attack, but also increase healing by 5% while also generating dew over time. As an added bonus, for using both the Pansia fan and Soulshade umbrella at the same time, we're given an extra plus 20% damage increase to mystic skills. There's only 2 weapons to heal, but there's several combinations. Now, let's talk about the gear and set effects, since they'll either make or break your build. When it comes to the gear that we can wear, at first, this can be extremely confusing with all the stats to pay attention to, so to keep this simple, gear comes with different rarity grids, green, blue, purple, etc. Mastery is the gear score, which is just basically bragging rights. Then you have all the stats like max HP or min attack, the set effects, which are separated into weapon and armor sets. For my build, I'm using the Ivorybloom weapon set and the Royal Snow armor set. For Ivorybloom, this set gets the increased crit rate for 2 pieces, and at 4 pieces we get a 5% increase to crit heal or damage while increasing their effects by 15% if at max HP. As for the Royal Snow set, while wearing 2 pieces, we get the increased defense, and for the whole set, when you lose more than 40% of your max HP in a single attack, or when your HP falls below 20%, the next healing you get within 5 seconds restores an additional 25 of your max HP, but only triggers every 60 seconds. Another good set combo I've been working on is the Rain Whisper weapon set and the Eagle Rise armor set. The Rain Whisper gives max HP for 2 set, and for the full set increases the crit damage and heals by 10% for another plus 15% if you have an HP shield active. As for Eagle Rise, the 2 set gets the same defense increase, but the full set grants 1 stack of Eagle Rise when dealing damage or healing over time. What this does is reduce the damage taken for a few seconds. At a max stack of 5, the Eagle Rise effect will change into an Eagle Guard that reduces almost all damage or half boss damage once every 30 seconds. These are 2 good sets for healing with good effects, but we have to focus on the stats now. Where Winds Meet lets us know what stats are recommended for our path, but a few stats I've been prioritizing are max HP for surviving, min attack for DPS and better heals, and fan healing for obviously better fan heals. Bind attacks will increase the min or max damage of the umbrella or fan skill damage, while body increases max HP and power increases physical attack, which is also recommended but is not really my focus. Once you get level 41 gear, tuning is unlocked, which can increase the stat even further. In here, we can use mats to unlock a random stat at a random grade. Something to pay attention to is some gear will have increased tuning experience or can come with the ability to place a higher grade stat on the gear randomly when tuning. The higher the grade of gear, the more stat effects that can be tuned, but be careful. Tuning is permanent, so if you don't get the right stats because you have bad RNG, you will have to get another piece and start tuning again. Tuning will also increase your mastery level of the gear, which again is only bragging rights. The inner ways you choose are important to shaping your builds. These are not limited to every weapon or skills, allowing for mixing and matching, but there are certain ways that will help out healing. For my build, I'm currently using the Royal Remedy Inner Way, which increases the healing effect of the AoE healing circle by 10% and restores 1 dew each time you're healed in the circle. Next, I'm using Restoring Blossom because every crit heal done applies 1 stack of Nurturing for 3 seconds, which increases the healing received by 2% to 3 stacks. Next up, I chose Mending Loom to give the Soulshade Umbrella special skill to restore 5 dew and heals 5% of your max HP for every 100 dew consumed. Instead of using Restoring Revival to restore more HP when rezzing another player, I took Moral Chant. This inner way has an 80% chance of granting Yi River when attacking or healing, which increases the physical penetration by 1 and healing by 1% or 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Remember to break through your inner ways to further increase the healing or just add new effects to your skills. These can take a while and are locked behind some solo mode levels, but are worth taking the time to do with just how OP they can change your build. Moving on, we have the Mystic Arts. Keep in mind, for this build, this is only for doing group content and not solo, so skills will be different when you have to worry more about burning a boss down than heals. So for me, the arts that I'm choosing to focus on is Dragon's Breath for massive burning damage and can eat through any shield with ease, including bosses. When coupled with a Flame Scroll, the burning effects will last 5 seconds longer for 10 minutes. I chose Lion's Roar next for some AoE damage, but mainly the 15% damage reduction and fortitude. Not to mention, when upgraded, it can silence targets for 3 seconds. The third skill, Golden Body, is a great one for healing and becomes better once upgraded, but the skill places a shield for 8 seconds, which gives fortitude and damage reduction. The next skill is kind of optional really, but I chose Drunken Poet since punches can turn explosive with fire for massive damage when being used in combination with the Dragon's Breath and the Scroll of Flame. Taking a look at the alt skills bar, I took Binding Mist to break combat on weaker mobs or just to use the Touch of Death when needed. Next, I chose Serene Breeze to push mobs back if they get too close, while also doing a little bit of damage and reducing the target's endurance by 50% for 8 seconds. Third skill here is one of my favorites, Ghost Spine. This can be really fun, able to stun up to 6 weaker targets at the same time while also inflicting damage. The last alt skill is Ghostly Steps. This applies a mirage effect, which reduces the endurance cost of dodge skills by 40% and increases the intargetable duration. Not to mention, the effect looks cool when dodging. Now, we have to see this rotation in action, right? So the healing rotation and Where Winds Meet are really simple once you get the hang of it, so I usually start out by using the Floating Grace or by hitting Q to increase the damage for the party. Then I throw the umbrella up using the Echoes of 1,000 Plants or the special skill, which can be done by hitting tilde on the keyboard. This will automatically heal everyone. Then I switch to my fan and follow up using the Emerald Dew Touch or hitting R to heal or generate dew to later pop the Cloud Burst healing or are the AoE healing circle hitting Q. This can be done the whole entire fight, and you just have to worry about staying alive. As for the mystic arts, these can be used as needed either to keep damage up, drop defenses, or just survive throughout the fight. Ghost binds and talent strikes are great CCs used to set up a group at the start, or when the mobs are just getting a little bit too overwhelming during adventure mode. Dragon's Breath can be used with the Drunken Fist quickly to help teams on DPS, or when healing isn't needed. Then Ghostly Step, Serene Breeze, and Blinding Mist can be used for moving around the battlefield a lot easier. Just keep in mind, Blinding Mist does cost a huge amount of vitality. With so many players wanting an instant Q, a lot of times you'll get in a group full of healers and a tank. Rarely will you get any DPS. Hopefully the group isn't too bad and you should be able to easily clear any boss. This should help you get an idea for your own healing build using the Pansia fan and the Soulshade umbrella, with just how much information there is to the game and how overwhelming it can be. I tried not to go too much into detail, but I plan to have more content coming just to start building up the library. Where Winds Meet has definitely been surprising me for not being an MMO, yet has way more to do and more meaningful content than the same systems in games like Black Desert. Let me know down in the comments if you've been enjoying the game or if the UIs have completely turned you off. I put over 100 hours in the game so far with no stop in sight, and I'm still always finding new things to do. We still have at least a year's worth of content still needing to be brought over to the global version, offering more to do, and I can't wait, even though the menus and other issues are a little bit annoying at times. But if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, turn on all those notifications, and keep an eye out for when I start making brand new content on Where Winds Meet. Keep gathering out there, everyone.